耐心等佢，因為我哋本身係上一場喺旺角嘅，所以我哋係跑過嚟嘅沿途，所以俾少少時間我哋係啊，請你哋用大力啲嘅掌聲去歡迎佢哋兩位。Say it down.
Sure. Well, firstly, I just want to congratulate Polly on her little marathon run that she just did. Her first experience of getting into Four Trails, but no. Sorry for being late, but just from all of us here, we just want to thank you so much for coming tonight. When we started the project, we had no idea that it was going to be able to end up in Hong Kong cinemas. It was a passion project. It was something that we wanted to do to challenge ourselves, to try and make the best film possible. So just having everyone here tonight is just incredibly rewarding for us. So thank you very much for coming.
我知道每一場都係爆嘅，所以其實你哋買飛都真係好難嘅，咁啊，係啊，真係好多謝大家。So do you have any? I believe the audience will be very curious. What is the difficult part about the film?
Yeah. So making the film had many challenges, both in pre-production to filming the event to post-production. So to try and make things a little bit shorter, I'll stick to just the filming of the event. For a 3-day challenge, 3 days and 3 nights, it's incredibly difficult to predict what is going to happen and where things are going to happen. So before we did an intense amount of preparation, scouting out best locations, what we're going to shoot at each location. But as the event unfolds, those sort of plans have to be adjusted. So on the first day, when the runners are relatively close together, it's fairly simple because we had 3 crews, and as the runners would come by, we could then move that crew to the next spot, but then the crew behind them could catch them at the next location, and then they would leapfrog to the next spot. So on day 1, very simple, we can leapfrog each other. But when you get to day 2 and day 3, runners are now completely far away from each other. Some people can be finishing the Wilson Trail, others are still on Kowloon side. So trying to organize crews became a bit of a logistical challenge, which is where Ben comes in. And Ben would be looking at the GPS map where the runners would be, and be telling, okay, filmers, Salomon just got here, we need this crew to move there. Someone else is here, let's move this person here. But we also knew that doing that would be a little tricky, so we actually had 2 people stay on the MTR station for almost 24 hours, just going back and forth with the runners, just constantly. So we had to be pretty flexible with what we're doing. And then when you get to the 3rd day, that's when you got people on Lantau, there's still people in Hong Kong side. I think Jackie and Salomon were Shek Pik, and Will was still in Shek Ho. So everyone was just miles away. And also on the 3rd day, as you saw, the runners are getting sleep deprived, but so are we, so are the filmers. And from a planning perspective, you have all these plans, but you're sleep deprived and you're second guessing yourself. Is that idea I had at the beginning the right one? Is it not the right one? Now people are in different places. And so you're trying to make these decisions. I think I had 2 hours sleep the whole journey. So on 2 hours, trying to make these tough decisions. And one of the biggest decisions that we had to make was on the final morning, and Jackie was on his way down, on his way up Sunset Peak, but he would be at the post box. At the same time, Salomon would be on top of Lantau Peak. And so we had this decision, what do you do? Do you stick to the plan, which was go up Lantau and film a beautiful sunrise? Or do you send more people to the post box where you're going to film this amazing moment, first time in history, potentially, we still don't know. And so it was my decision, and Ben was driving, and we were borrowing Salomon's car. And we were just on Nong Ping, the drive to go to Nong Ping, and Salomon was climbing that. And so I was like, okay, we said that we're going to film this beautiful sunrise on Lantau. Let's stick to the plan. So we drive past Salomon and started to figure out the plan. And then it was like, no, what are you doing, Robin? Jackie could, be the first one in history to do 50 hours. So change the plan. Let's go bring everyone to the finish line, drive back past Salomon. And then it's like, we spent so long planning this. It's a beautiful sunrise, a beautiful day. Lantau's going to look incredible. Let's go back up. So we did that. I don't know how many times because we just couldn't decide. And after the event, we bumped into Salomon and he's like, man, on that third morning, I was just hallucinating like crazy. All I could imagine was my car driving up and down and up and down. And I had to apologize for torturing him. I was like, sorry, that wasn't you weren't hallucinating. That was just poor decision making on our part. So filming an event like this is just incredibly taxing, not just for the runners, but the film crew. So yeah, that was tough.
好唔好意思 I'm so sorry that I forgot to introduce you guys. So our crazy movie director, Robin, and the crazy writer of the podcast Andre, and the producer, Ben. Okay, why do you have this crazy idea to make this challenge?
Well, normally my wife and I would travel over Chinese New Year to go somewhere. And in 2012 it was, we didn't travel for some reason, and we were here during Chinese New Year. It was a 4-day long public holiday, and I thought what to do in Hong Kong during Chinese New Year. And coincidentally, there are 4 trails longer than a marathon distance. So yeah, what could be closer than running them, 4 trails in 4 days? So I set off to do that, and I somehow completed that. I was actually a bit disappointed that I did complete it, because previously I've asked some people, has this never been done before? And everyone told me, what a stupid question. Of course not, because it can't be done. And that sort of motivated me, so I did it, and then I completed it, and I was actually quite disappointed, because clearly it wasn't hard enough. So the next year we changed it, 4 trails in 3 days. The first year I did alone. The second year, I think 4 or 5 other people joined me, including Cho Kin, who was also in the film briefly. And I think 3 of us completed it. Again, clearly it wasn't hard enough, otherwise we wouldn't have completed it. So then the third year I changed it to the current format, the non-stop format, where the clock keeps ticking. And I've been organizing and hosting it since. So I think next year, end of January, Chinese New Year, will be the 14th event. And I put it on because I've had a good 10, 12 years of ultra running myself. And I've met incredible people. I've been very fortunate to participate in very great events all around the world. And it has given me a lot of personal growth. It has helped me, I think, become more resilient in all parts of life, including running and sport and work and other things. And I think that comes very well across here as well with many of the participants. And it's just my way of giving back and giving participants the opportunity to go through that journey. And I think Robin and Ben have done an absolutely incredible job of capturing that and also then sharing it with you, so you don't have to run.
Robin just said this is very difficult production and difficult challenge for you too. So what's your favorite part about the movie or moments do you have?
Sure. It's very hard to answer that question specifically with a sort of a single moment from either the film or during the whole process of making this film. It was a sort of labour of love for 4 years, and to sort of sit back and say that one moment is sort of the best moment is very difficult. And there's lots of them. But when we sort of look at the film, I think one of the things that we tried to do the most was sort of showcase Hong Kong as much as showcase the runners as a place, the destination to sort of go run. We're not just a 24-hour city. We have fantastic beaches. We have lots of cool mountains and trails. You know, it's all connected via an amazing public transport system, and we you know, things which we all take for granted, but maybe some people overseas or other people don't necessarily know about. And so it's sort of keen for us when we did it is to showcase sort of Hong Kong, and what better way than, you know, showcasing 4 trails which go from one side of Hong Kong, the sort of west side, to the east side, then we go up north and we finish down south, we go across Hong Kong Island and then all the way around Lantau. So we showcase a lot of the Hong Kong. But I think for me, what I enjoy the most when I get to watch the film is looking at the Wilson Trail element, when we showcase the whole of the Wilson Trail. Because that, to me, you know, we start up near China, we go over fantastic Patsing Lane mountain range, we go through Tai Po and behind Tai Mo Shan and up around Lion Rock, and we, you know, we see monkeys when we're up there, which is part of Hong Kong wildlife. And then we're on the MTR, which is again part of our Hong Kong life, and we go from Kowloon side over to Hong Kong Island side, and then we finish down in Stanley at like a nice fishing village as well. So that showcases sort of the whole of Hong Kong in my mind. So I always enjoy the most, if there was one moment in the film, to sit back and watch, you know, the fantastic drone photography of the whole of Hong Kong via the Wilson Trail, basically. Yeah.
Thank you. So the last question to you three. So what are the messages would you like to deliver for the movie or for the challenge?
I think the message is, it ties in, the film ties in very much with the event. They go hand in hand. Andre came up with the idea as a selfless act by himself, or maybe not selfless act, but something which he just wanted to challenge himself to do. And then all the runners that came after him, they just want to challenge themselves to do something. But no one's forcing anyone to do any of this. It's just because it's something they really want to do. And same with the film. Me and Ben set out to do this. No one told us to do it. It's something that we wanted to do. We wanted to challenge ourselves. And I think when you watch the film, that message really comes across, of all these different individuals from different walks of life. They all have their own reasons and motivations for doing something. And I think as an audience member, you can look at it as like an extreme event challenge, purely just trail running, or you can also look at it and take it into your own life with, okay, I'm not going to do 300k, that's ridiculous, but there's something else that I want to do and work with my family, and really push yourself in that way. So I think that for us is sort of the message that we want people to come out with when they watch this film.
I think it does all of that, and I think it does something that is very unique Hong Kong, because Hong Kong has a can-do spirit that is very unique, and you've seen almost everybody wear a mask because it was in the middle of the pandemic. So it would have been easy to say we're going to cancel this year. No, we didn't. We persevered. I studied all the rule books. We had one participant start at a time. Remember the rule where only 2 people could be together, even outside? And I think Hong Kong, to me, is about overcoming challenges. And the Lion Rock spirit is around getting it done regardless. And I think it is something that we maybe need a bit more of again in this fantastic town. So I think that all comes across very well as well.
Yeah, it's all the same sort of things, but I guess one thing when we spoke at a different similar question, it was sort of, you know, go out and take that first step. We don't know what that challenge might be, you know, and we went out and challenged ourselves to make a film. We had a lot of setbacks and sort of tribulations and trials and all that sort of stuff along the way, but, you know, we went out and we tried. And if you don't try, you don't know what's going to happen. And, you know, we didn't think we were going to be here showcasing a film in front of all you people and many other cinemas around Hong Kong. When we set out, it was, let's just go film Will and put a camera in his face and see what happens. And, you know, 4 years later, we have a film in the cinema. So that's kind of cool. And so any message I would give is, yeah, take that first step. You don't know where you're going to end up.
聽佢哋嘅 sharing， 因為其實呢套戲咧真係我哋都其實點解我哋會 day 咗喺12月咧？咁其實都係因為我哋都覺得好似喺年尾嘅時候，大家會唔會想有啲回顧啦，然後又想有啲 challenge 喺 next year 啦，咁所以先擺佢喺12月度上映，希望大家都中意，然後 share 俾你哋嘅身邊嘅朋友咁樣啦。咁我哋都非常唔好意思，我哋都唔係好夠時間，但係 Andre 同埋 Ben 呢一陣會喺 lobby 嗰度咧同大家影下相咁樣嘅。咁你哋可能有啲咩問題，你哋都可以問佢嘅。咁Robin 會再遲啲先出嚟。好啦，咁我哋影張大合照啦，不如 let's take the photo。